Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is the Rant. And today we're going to ask that question, is the answer really 42? I hope you'll stay to find out. Or maybe you won't. Let's Oj. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Jade and this is The Rant. And I hope you're doing okay. Like that. It's a Monday morning here in Australia, nice and bright and bushy-tailed and early. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Most of you are still enjoying your weekend. It is Sunday for the rest of you in the US and the UK. Huge weekend of entertainment across all of YouTube, as per usual, kicking off with the old Friday Human Centipede train of entertainment, which kicked off with Valerie, and me and Brad got up and totally just melted everybody's minds, it seems, followed by Mr. Smith and Valerie. Then we had the wonderful Pole Vault and Sunshine Archer, Laurie's Mishmash, Gary Hubs, and then bringing up the rear was the Leela-verse, as always. And yesterday, as normal, big day again, Thomas Christ. Oh, we had a Chandler Brothers premiere to kick everything off. Then we had Thomas Christ with his 200th episode. Me, Pete Johns, and Brad Example knocked it out the park, performing live here in my studio. It was pretty cool sitting here being able to mix Brad and be the engineer for Brad Example. It was pretty wild to hear him with, I don't know, a pretty good sound and quite entertaining, I thought. Let me know if you thought it was entertaining as well. But we've got a big week again here on this channel. Lots of app demos. And we're rounding out the week, not with an interview, but with, shall we go over the stuff? Let's go over it to get you up to speed. All the shows for this week are already listed here on the channel. So there's a lot of stuff happening. Tomorrow we're taking a look at Playbeat 4 by Audio Modern. What can I say? It's pretty sexy. It's a rad app, a nice upgrade. So we'll be taking a look at that tomorrow. The day after that on the live stream, we're taking a look at Shape Stage by Chem OK. That's already up on the channel if you want to go and hit a like or set a reminder or any of that nonsense. Also, we promised last week we're going to do this, but it got put back because I just wasn't ready. But this week we will. Pro Q4 by Fab Filter will be happening also, plus a whole bunch of other cool apps, pre-recorded stuff, like, I don't know, for instance, this thing right here, J-Amp Percussive. Boom, that's probably going to be a pre-recorded this week. Also a guitar amp sim, and I can't remember what else. So, lots of stuff coming up here this week on the channel, and no interview this week. Well, kind of, there is an interview, but it's something else that we need to do a catch-up. We said we would do a few of these during the time. God, my cords are all stuffed up. So, interview this week is... We're having a Music for Life 2025 update, so you guys can keep up with what's happening with the Music for Life album. Russ is going to come on. There's been quite a few things happen, and I think there's like 17 songs already submitted, but we're going to give you an update on all of that. And amazingly enough, there's still some people out there who aren't getting it. We're not trying to build the earth, folks, or a supercomputer that's going to give us the answer 42. We just don't swear in the song and just write the song about whatever. It doesn't have to be about kids dying with cancer. Hopefully we'll go over it again, and maybe some people will get it through. I don't know what to say, guys. And to round things up, heading back to the Human Centipede of Entertainment, well, Part 2 is happening this week after Valerie. But now you've probably noticed there's a time difference for a lot of you in the US. Yes, that's because your clocks have changed. And they will change again soon because The UK's clocks change in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think. And then our clocks change. So going forward, once our clocks change, yeah, it's going to be even later. So 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. on the West Coast. That is just the way it happens every year. All this stuff changes. And, the thing is, I always see like people, I don't know if people just expect because we're in Australia and we mean less or something that we should change our time. Nobody in the US changes their fucking time. But anyway, and you've got the worst president in the world. So there's that. So that's all that's coming up here on the Chanel. And shall we get into it? Say hello to you all and then we'll get into what we're talking about today. So there was a name change for this episode. Cold Acres in the house. Leela's here. Brad Example's sitting in my lounge room, chilling out. He's not going to be on the show today. I think we've had enough Brad for a few days. We need to have a Brad break because he broke all of your minds. Or maybe it was me breaking all of your minds. I think we both broke people's minds with some of those stories. Did we? Maybe. Who knows? Dell is here, covered by CQ. G'day, Chris. I can't click your thing. There it is. I click your thing. Sean Chandler, Jenny Jolivet, the Dom father, who amazingly enough went on Gmail last night and never threatened to murder anyone's kids. It was fantastic. Good job, Dom, and especially with what was going on there on the channel on Gmail. Can we really put an end to that? It just ruins the entire show. I'm all for letting anyone get up and have, but if you're just sitting there, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to go into that. Barry Glenn, I hope you're feeling better, Barry Glenn. Barry Glenn wasn't feeling so good. FPC is in the house. Anyone else that I'm missing? There's Gurel down the list. Mateusz. G'day, Mateusz. Chris Lane Sr., who always holds together the boat on Gmail quite well when it gets out of control, when straw chewing takes over the entire show for some reason. Is there anyone else? As I scroll down, Thomas Christ, hello TC, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. No, there was no drama, Pete. It's just Gmail let an imbecile, or not I shouldn't say that, just somebody who derails the show just because they're not mentally equipped to be there. And it's like babysitting somebody. It's kind of ridiculous. Whatever. That's my take on it. You can sue me for it. I don't give a shit. Mr. Smith, what is happening? Pete Johns is in the house. Your Music Live is coming up after this. He'll be playing your most rockin' music. Michael Thompson, g'day to you. Who else? I've got most of you. Shelley, hello. And yeah, the show needs to be about playing music, not babysitting. It just needs to be. It's tiring. It's really tiring. It just is. There we go. So it's not a creche. It's a Saturday Night Live jam, not a creche. You leave the kids at the creche. Anyway, it's not my show, so I shouldn't be complaining. Whatever floats your boat. But it makes me tune out. The nativity scene, yeah. All right, so what are we talking about today? You saw the title, there it is. You see the supercomputer in the background. The answer's 42. Is the answer actually 42? What is the meaning of the answer of 42? Is there a meaning behind it? Is it just a meme? Is it a joke that's being played on us all? Well, it came from, if you don't know the history, and I'm sure there's some people out there who don't know the history of the meaning of life, the answer to life, the universe and everything being the 42, being 42. That's how simple it is. It came from a movie, originally a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And in short, it is basically about a human living on the planet Earth, and an alien race decide to run a superhighway through the universe, and Earth is in the way, so Earth gets basically up for deconstruction. And this human escapes and goes on an adventure with somebody who carries the book, which is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And the story of the answer to life is 42, is these hyper-intelligent beings come together and they build a supercomputer to answer the question that is on everybody's mind of life, the universe, and everything. And they build this computer and it goes away for millions of years and it calculates, and then everybody comes back finally after generations of people have died out to find out this answer, and the computer says 42. And then informs them that you actually have to find out what the question is. It's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant piece of writing, very clever stuff. And not only is the actual Hitchhiker's Guide, the offshoot stories and all of that, very witty, very clever, probably going to go above most of the heads of humanity today because, well, let's admit it, humanity's fucked, aren't they? For anyone to actually vote in a billionaire and then complain that billionaires are the ruin of the world, we are really fucked. So, you know, that I think we skipped, you know. You just started reading it? Fantastic. Well, I didn't give away the end. What are you talking about? It was a miscalculation. So, yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't... See? No, Mr. Smith just ruined it for you, Dom. Right? You see that? I didn't even go to the ending, man. This is early stages in that book. But there you go. Mr. Smith just totally fucked it up for you. Enjoy. So, the original name for this episode of The Rant, I had it up last week, and it's, I don't know, this just felt like it tied in a little bit better than what the title, I'm trying to find the thumbnail. It was this. You have, oh, it's not that. It's this one. You have all the answers. Kind of sort of similar. So, because we kind of sort of do. But I don't think we actually want to admit that we kind of sort of do because, you know, I think as a species we've programmed our brains to run away from a lot of things and be very avoided. We're avoiders. You know, we avoid... Look at the planet and the way the planet's going and things that are happening. We just go, oh, yeah, it'll be all right. Fuck it. It doesn't affect me now, does it? Who gives a fuck? But at the same time, the incongruence of it all is people are telling you to mass produce more children and keep the baby rate and the population rate up. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, let's keep producing, but fuck the babies. Fuck. It's the whole thing with abortion, isn't it? You know, hey, it's really, it's in the womb. It's very important. But as soon as it's out of the womb, let priests them. You know, everything's all good until, you know, they're actually there in front of you, and then it's like, who gives a shit? But in the womb, man, that's where it's really important. But this is the thing, you know, we're avoiders. We don't want to sit there and face what's going on now because, you know what, somebody else can handle it. But the answers are pretty much normally in front of us. So I decided at a point, always these shows have some tie-in to me and stuff like that. In about 2017, I started writing my first film. And it was an animated film and using my iPad. And the film is called The Answer... Is that what it's called? I can't even... The Answer is 42. And it's actually, it's based off two films. So I took the ideas of two films in this film I was producing and smashed them together because ironically they kind of work in a strange, bizarre way. And the concept of the film was the whole scene of building the supercomputer to give us the answer. But when the computer gives us the answer 4T2, we misread the answer and it wasn't the number 42. It was a warning to be afraid for T2, the film Terminator 2, which is going to warn us that we shouldn't build robots because robots are going to fuck everything up. And ironically, we got it wrong, and then we made a Hollywood blockbuster film, totally made this thing massive and immortalized it, and now here we are right now about to go into that phase of our evolution, which is great Can't wait. So there we have it. So yeah, I started work on this movie, and it's close to being finished. But within my movie was a narrative of a meme within a meme within a meme. And ironically, the whole we're going to close with a part of the film today, because it is the part of the film where the switch is flicked, and we all sit there and go, okay, turn on the computers, and everything goes wrong. Which we're getting close to. As soon as we get that laser sewn into our brain from one of the biggest planet, what could go wrong? What could go wrong with rockets being fired into space that just blow up? And here you go, now put this on your brain. Okay, thanks, because I really want to take that from that guy. Yeah, ketamine. It's good stuff. So, yeah, redacted. That's what I was saying. Absolutely. And I want to tie this into like the point that we do kind of know the answers to everything. Yeah, not everything. Like anybody who tells you they know. Here's a warning sign. If you see somebody who tells you that their IQ is like 148 and you should be listening to them, probably run the other way. They're probably a dickhead. Just from experience, anybody who walks around flashing their IQ number is most likely a fuckwit. So, look, I've only been on this planet for 50 odd years, and you know, I can't tell you that there's ever been a situation where I've been in a conversation with somebody and been talking about a subject, and then they've pulled the old, my IQ's 148, and I've thought, you know what a smart person you are. Let's just, you know what, I'll believe anything you say, because you threw out an arbitrary number at me from a test that there's no singular test. It can be taken many different ways, and you're a fuckwit. But yeah, so don't go down that path ever. But the thing is, the point I want to try and get to is that most of us see the answers in front of us. Why? Because we have this thing called instinct. And we all know this, right? That's that gut feeling. That's how many times you do. I say it on this show all the time, mistakes make you better. And the point of saying that is to make mistakes, but don't just like keep making mistakes and going, you know what? I like mistakes. There's an aeroplane with an open blade. I might just walk into that. You know, that's probably a mistake you don't want to do. So you got to learn from your mistakes, but they do make you better. Maybe I should change it to mistakes make you better if you don't keep fucking making them. Actually learn something from them. So the saying's a bit moot, isn't it? Hello, Mix Club, and I saw Sex on Wheels, the Velcro. What? Why did I just call Velcro Sex on Wheels? Who fucking knows? This channel's lost the plot recently. Brad, get out. You've brought shame on this channel. IQ is like fire beats. If somebody tells you they've got a fire beat, prepare for shit. It's true, isn't it? It really is. I've got a fire beat. Fuck off. You sound like shit. Instinct, it's really important. Gut feelings, you know, and most of the time gut feelings, they're right. Gut feelings, how many times have we, I know you've done it yourself. It happens to me all the time. You think, oh, that's probably a really stupid idea to put my hand in that blender. Whoops, why did I do it? You have these thoughts and you go, yeah, that's dumb. And sometimes we still do it. And then I often find myself yelling out really loud, you just said don't do that. You even verbalized it in your own house and there's nobody around and you yelled it out into the atmosphere and said, don't put your hand in that blender. Whoops. And then it goes. And there I am. Hey, oh, wow. Whoa, yummy soup. It happens, but our instinct is often right, you know, and this leads me into psychology and therapy, because I see a lot of people, right, talking about psychiatrists, they don't know what they're doing, therapies for idiots and stuff like that. And the majority of them who say that, and believe me, we are moving into idiocracy at the moment. So that majority or the minority of stupidity is growing to the majority. Homeschooling. What a great idea. Yay. Here's to homeschooling from somebody who learnt from a Bible. Yay, great stuff, fantastic. Because kids are going to learn heaps of stuff from that, aren't they? A midget, a man this big, built a boat and put every animal in it. And guess what? The animals didn't eat each other. Yay, let's have a round of applause for that. Because that makes absolute sense. Let's homeschool kids that. But we're moving into the land of absolute idiocracy. It won't be long until we're spraying our gardens with horse piss or whatever it is, Gatorade. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be water. It's going to be something utterly stupid because that is where we are going. Because going back to the boat, with all the animals on it, because pandas, they're not fussy eaters, are they? And, zebras, they're not just put on this earth to be meals, are they? And lions and zebras, great friends. And, polar bears wouldn't need a complex refrigeration system, would it? At all. Just not a problem. You just sit out on the sun deck there, polar bears. Everything's going to be sweet. So stupidity's been around for a while, and it continues to go on today. But with psychology and therapy, I'm getting back to the point. Did I say hi to Hugh? Did I miss you, Hugh? Hello, Hugh. Kisses to Hugh. Therapy, yeah? There's a lot of people out there, homeschooled, not so bright, fucking idiots. Just going to say it for what it is. There's a lot of people who are pretty thick out there and really will believe anything they're told. They think a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that is like someone you go to and you pay a lot of money to, and eventually on their clock, they're going to go you know what? I've had this client now for 4 years. They've been paying me $100 a session for 4 years. I think today I'm going to give them the answers to all their problems. I think it's today. I'm just feeling it today. I think I've drained them of all their money. This will be the day. And it's all right. G'day, Malcolm. Sit down on the couch. Today, here we go. Here's all your problems. Oh, thanks. All right, so I don't have to come back now. No, you're all good. We've sorted all your problems. And I know very simple-minded people think that, and that's why they I don't need to go and get help. But essentially, it's not that complicated. You're just paying somebody to fucking listen to you because you don't have, normally friends in your life that are actual friends that actually listen to you and offer feedback when you talk to them, or offer, not try and dictate. See, a good friend, this is how I count a really good friend, not by how much they tell me how fucking good I am, by how much they pull me up on shit. That's a really good friend. And you know the saying, you can count a good friend on five. If you got two really good friends in your life, you're actually killing it. But a good friend will actually listen to what you're saying and then go, I don't know about that. It's pretty stupid what you're saying. And a shit friend will be like, fucking, yep, exactly. Fucking the lion and zebra slept together every night and made love. They didn't. The lion never ate the zebra. Perfect. But that's the point. You need to have people that are going to pull you up on shit and hold you accountable for the dumb shit that you say. And that's what good friends do. And if you value them really strongly, then you'll listen to them and value what they say. You trust them enough. Because, it's even kind of let's just go there. Let's just say it, We in this community are very, very fucking kind to each other. We support each other a lot here and really push each other to make better music and say, yes, that's great. And here's the thing, right? I say this all the time on this channel. Once somebody's released a song and they've put it out, there's no point sitting on the chat going, you could have used a bit more compression on that. The song's finished. It's been released. You're just being a cunt at that point. And that's what we do really well here, right? But then there's stuff like I do on my Patreon where you get the opportunity for $1 to send me a track and we can objectively go, oh, you could probably change this up a little bit before it's released. And that's not being a cunt. But we as a community here are very supportive of each other. And sometimes you would think, let's not bullshit each other. There's sometimes you're sitting there listening to a song and go, oh, that's not too bad. Shit, that's pretty shit. But at the same time, you want to fucking empower people, yeah? Because, again, it's too late. It's been finished. But you can say stuff without being a total cunt, can't you? Yeah? Without being mean. And I think we do that really well here, and I think that's why we, as a community, work pretty well for the most part. But, it just is what it is. You're not going to like everything, and not everything's going to be fucking well mixed or well written. And a lot of my songs suck, and I'm pretty good at that. But, yeah, it is a fine art of helpful critique. So I've railed off there a little bit, but we will get back to the point because I always try to do that eventually. But with therapy, if you got this, idea that one day there's this magic answer and it's like, oh, I've given you so much money. When am I going to get this fucking answer to sort this out? And then you're the fool because like the whole point of therapy, like friends, you're actually paying somebody, that you're laying down money to do the things that really good friends would do for you and pull you up and go, hey, you know what? What I'm hearing from you is this. And it's a hard thing to do. It's a really hard thing to do, to sit there with really good friends. And I've had really good friends who just continue to do the same shit that goes wrong in their life. And they sit there and go, I don't know why this shit happens to me all the time. And I'll just go, well, it's because you keep smoking meth. Oh no, it can't be that. I'm not addicted to it. No. See, everything that happens is around you smoking meth. I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm your friend, and I know everybody else is going to not tell you because they're too busy fucking hating you behind your back and going, they're a fucking meth head. Because that's the reality, yeah? And that's what a good therapist should be, that friend who's going to go, nah. No, this is what you're doing. And you know what? With therapy, you're only going to resolve the issue that's going on if you fucking tell the truth. That's it. If you go to therapy and sit down with someone and go, oh, I don't think I'll tell them everything. I've known people, seriously, oh man, and lived in the same house with people who are like, oh, I've got my psychiatrist appointment today. Fuck, I hope they don't find out about this thing that I did and I won't tell them this. I'm just thinking, so why the fuck are you going? You've got all these secrets from this person who's supposed to be helping you. And guess what? All those secrets that you have, they're all the problem. That's the shit. And I've told you this already, but you're not ready to listen because people have got to be ready themselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink unless you're strap the bucket onto its head and then it has to drink, don't you? So, but this is it. If you go and seek any kind of therapy or psychiatry or anything like that, you've got to tell them what's going on. But that's the kicker, because they're not going to go, well, okay, you've been here for 4 years and you've been telling us all your secrets for 4 years. And here we go. I've calculated the answer. I've sat here like the supercomputer from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And the answer is, can I do it? I probably can't do it. Let's see if I can do it. I'll make sure it's all set up. See, it wasn't set up. The answer is 42. See, that's what's going to happen if you don't tell people, if you're actually not honest about that stuff. And the whole point of therapy, and this is getting back to where we started today about that instinct and gut feeling, and we actually know most of the answers about ourselves and what ticks inside. Of course, we can't know all the answers of everything else around us. Our brains are so small in the scale of things, but within ourselves, we're pretty good. You can feel when you're sick. You can feel when, like, I think I'm doing the wrong thing to this person. You pretty much have a good instinct of when you're being a cunt and when you're not being a cunt, right? People go on about, there's 49 genders, all this shit, and there's race and all this. No, there's only two types of people in this world. You're either an asshole or you're not. And that's how I look at the world anyway. If you're an asshole, get the fuck out of my way. If you're not, let's jam, let's party, let's have a good time. When it comes down to this, well, I know you're all waiting for it because we're at the halfway point and I need to run an ad and pay some bills. So you can avoid the ad by becoming a YouTube Premium subscriber, or even the new cheap version of Premium. I think it's called Premium Cheap Cunt. I'm not sure. I think it's like $8, or apparently there's a new tier of Premium YouTube and it still skips ads. Or you can skip the ad and we'll come back. The ad has been run. You may or may not have gotten an ad. All right. So as I mentioned too, we'll just cover this one more time. We got Russ coming on the show again this week to talk about the Music for Life album, the update, let you know what's going on, remind you all of the date that your music has to be in. There's been about 17 submissions, which is just absolutely fantastic. Brad got a horse ad. Well, that's not surprising, is it? Is it at all with the stuff you've been watching on my account the last few days, you weirdo? Get off my computer. And also, Brad will be back here on the channel, of course, for another debaucherous episode of Rock and Roll Road Stories. This week it'll be about drugs. Thank God for that, because the sex one was brutal. Brutal. Where was I? Oh, yeah, this saying, you only get out what you put in. All right, so we're back here of like, I'm telling you this because eventually this is what happens with therapy, right? It's not like there is going to be a magic answer. And it's like, hey, enough time. What happens is you talk to these people, and if you're truthful, which is getting harder and harder in this world, like, because even the word truth has been hijacked by people who peddle bullshit. I mean, the irony doesn't escape me, right? So even truth has, like, they call themselves truthers, and yet everything they say is bullshit. It's amazing how everything is so upside down at the moment. But if you tell your truth, the things that are going on to you, then the therapist or the psychologist or psychiatrist, what they do is they just sit there and reiterate everything you're saying in a different combination of words until you fucking hear it. That's it. Until you actually hear the shit dribble that's coming out of your mouth, the shit that you're saying, like that friend I told you I had, constantly telling me, oh, this bad shit happened. No, but it wasn't because I was on meth. Oh, were you on meth when it happened? Yeah. All right. What about today when you went to the shop? Oh, nothing happened then. Were you on meth? No. Right. When you got gang by a whole bunch of men, were you on meth? Oh, you were, right, because you're making really poor decisions. Yeah, but it's not that, is it? You know what I'm saying? So you go to these, you're speaking your truth most of the time. If you ask, we identify the things that we're doing all the time. And it's like, I will get to how this ties into music shortly. Everything always comes back and ties in the end, hopefully, fingers crossed, because I never script this shit. But that is it. Like the seeking help. If you've got, you've picked out a good doctor, and if they're not doing this kind of thing, then you got to move on, right? You got to move on. If they're not actually listening to you and they're not reiterating the stuff, you're not hearing back what you're saying, then they're not listening to you. right? They're that friend that is a shithead that you shouldn't have in your life. But if they are reiterating the things you say to them in any kind of therapy, then they're actually listening to you, and they're telling you, this is what. So what I'm hearing is this. If you've ever worked in any kind of counseling like I have myself, or psychology or anything like that, everything is about this. Listening. It's all about listening. It's not about you. It's not about your ego. You have to. When I got into one of the things that changed my life was becoming a volunteer for people with HIV dementia, because what it taught me was at the time I'd come out as trans, and society had utterly shunned me. I'd gone from being a musician, quite well known and popular, and always being told that I was good and surrounded by yes men all the time. And then when I came out, that disappeared, and all of a sudden I was an enemy of everybody. And so I went underground. I disappeared from life. I became secluded, and I didn't want to be around people, right? The way I got out of that was to become a volunteer and help go and sit with people who had HIV dementia. Once a week, just with a client, they matched me with a client. And what I learned from that was to shut my fucking mouth and let somebody else fucking speak. And actually listen to them and learn how to ask open-ended questions, and not sit there while someone's talking formulating my next story. Because that's essentially what we do on this world. There are moments where we hang around with people and we sit down and go out and drink and stuff, and those moments are full of somebody opening their mouth and telling a story, while the other person barely listens while they're formulating their next story. It's very tiring. So being a volunteer, and I recommend it to anybody who's struggling with shit going on in their life, be it physical pain or mental health or just anything, give your time to somebody else. It teaches you to shut the fuck up and stop the bullshit in your brain and actually listen to somebody and ask open-ended questions and then reiterate what they said. Give somebody else value, and that's what therapy should be. And it's again, like I hear a lot of you guys say that, do you think I'm a good interviewer? That's where it came from. It came from putting yourself second and letting somebody else take the stage. Let somebody fucking take the stage, let them talk, pay attention to them, and don't sit there waiting for you to one-up them. Oh, really? You had breast cancer? Well, my auntie had 5 breast cancers. There's a lot of that goes on. People they feel like they're fucking got to one up all the time. No, sit there, listen to people, and fucking take an interest. Take an interest. Let them elaborate. Put yourself in the back seat. And this is what good psychiatry should be. And if you're going to go into this kind of thing, going to go into any kind of help like this, you should be aware of what you're getting yourself into. You're not going to get some magic answer. This isn't the computer from Hitchhiker's Guide. You're not going to go in there and they're not going to give you the magic answer 42. And if they did do something like that, this is the thing. If a psychiatrist or any kind of therapist gave you an answer and just was like, you've been here all this time, the answer is this, it's not going to make any sense to you. It's going to be this is where Hitchhiker's Guide is so clever on so many levels, right? It's going to be like hearing the number 42 and going, oh, well, that's it. Okay. But because it doesn't actually address any of the things that you've been saying, any of the things that you're not hearing coming out of your mouth. And now let's move this into music. This in music is very, 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 very common, especially around mixing music. Let me tell you, wow. People record music and they put it together, and then they get to the end of it and they just go, blah, and they just put all this shit on it that they shouldn't. And you know what the thing is? Most people know that they have no idea what they're doing. I'm just going to put this compressor on the final track, and I'm going to put a compressor on every single fucking track, and I think that sounds all right. And it's like, no, you know it doesn't sound good. You know it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, fucking don't do that. Like, it's very simple. Get the recording right at the source. Set the mics up right. Get the levels right. You'll find you won't need half as much of the shit that you pile on top of your song. This is something that, like, we can be honest about this, that we see doing like a charity album. Sometimes people are going to send, or I'd get on Patreon, somebody's going to send in a song to me and I'll go to master it and hear it and go, well, fuck me, I can't master this because it's already got so much compression on the final mix. I can't do it. I can't. If I add any more, it's already pumping the fuck. So just don't put anything on that final track because it's going to be mastered and it's going to be. So, but here's the thing: most of us know. You know what you're doing. You can feel it. You can feel. Oh, I think I'm over baking this. Simple things in life are often the best, and you know it, but you're not sure. Compression's the perfect example for all of this, because compression with music is one of the things that, no matter how many times you explain it and try and help people with it, there's this constant fear of compression that people are just like, oh, but I'm just not sure. And then you can go and watch a video and go, oh, I think that makes sense now. But it's like, for example, me with being colorblind. I'm actually pretty good at picking colors, but because I've been told by somebody that I'm colorblind, I have this constant doubt dragging around with me all the time, my whole life, that if I look at something and go, but is that brown? And I'm second guessing myself all the fucking time. But actually, there's not too many times I've actually gone, oh, it actually is red. And no one's gone, oh, I think it's brown. So we do know most of the time. It's self-doubt and stuff. And we know how to fix things. And we know not to overbake these things. So there's that. You know, a lot of the time I think we do have the answers right in front of us. But you know what? Sometimes the answers just feel a little bit hard, don't they? And you just want to avoid. Where here we are getting back to avoidance. And I do it all the time here on this channel. I'll sit there and know that I have to do a pre-recorded video tonight and go, oh, man, I don't have to actually, because, like, I could do it tomorrow. And then I don't do it, and then I don't do it tomorrow either. And now I've started building this thing up in my head like, nobody noticed anyway. But it's wrong. I noticed. And I know it's fucking wrong, and I've got to fucking change that thing. I know it's fucking wrong. You know the things that you do. You know when you're an asshole to somebody. You know when you've just ripped somebody off, or you've treated somebody bad, or you've said something really super bad that they didn't fucking deserve. You know. It's not like you need to go and see a therapist to have them tell you that you did it. We're not that stupid. Like, this is the thing. Sure, there's some stupid people out there at the moment who are dangerously loud and careering our species into the side of the road. But I think they're willingly stupid. Do you guys think about that? Do you think that sometimes people are just fucking, they know this is dumb, and they're just going, you know what, fuck it. I'm just so miserable. I just want to, like, take everybody on a really shit ride down a hill into a hole because I'm just a miserable piece of shit. So I'm just going to, like, go for it, whatever. If I can't be happy, fuck, everybody else is going to be unhappy. I find it really hard to believe that we live in a world where so many people at the moment can be so fucking stupid and gullible. And I know, like, well, apart from the guy who tells you all the time he's got 148 IQ because he's really smart, so smart that he needs to tell you, and he's not actually, you know, building rockets that don't explode. Some people are proud of being dumb. Ignorance is bliss. Well, I'll tell you, I've said this story on the channel before too. When I told my dad about me being trans, he was like, I don't want to hear about it. And I was like, but you should know about it because it's like part of who I am. And he goes, but I like my head in the sand. That was actually his words. I like my head in the sand. And that was the day I kind of went, you know what? I don't like fuckwits. I don't, even though you're my dad, in my world, I don't have people around me that like are stupid. I kind of cut them. I just cut the boat late at night. I just sneak out to the pier and I just cut the rope and then I push the boat out to sea. I don't make a song and dance about it. Trust me, if I want to get rid of you out of my life, I'm not going to make an announcement. Hello? Yeah, I don't like you anymore. Goodbye. No, I'm going to like sneak out at night, cut the rope, or like imagine they're the caboose on the train. That's my friend and I'm the carriage before. And I'll just pull the pin in the middle of the night and let the carriage, as we're careering down the tracks, I'll just pull the pin and let them just float. Because, you know, there's nothing worse than somebody making an announcement on Facebook, I'm deleting all these people. Like, can you just delete them and shut the fuck up? Nobody cares, you idiot. Like, because you know what? Because they want to, they know that they just want to create shit. Anyway, I think that we are smarter than what we put out there. And I think there are a lot of people who seriously know that what they're doing is just want to hurt people. They just want to be cunts because their life's shit. And they're unable to change their lives. They're unable to find happiness because it's too hard. And they'd rather just go, I don't know, 42, that'll do. Easy. I don't have to expand on it, blah, blah, blah. It's super easy. And there we have it. And of course, the loose caboose is here. There's everybody's friend who you just want to get rid of. The loose caboose, a.k.a. the loose caboose. So we're doing something a little bit different today. As I mentioned, I've been making this film for the longest time. Here it is here. It's called, there it is. So it's got, like, I've been working on this for a long time. It's a full feature-length film. You know, it goes for, ironically, 42 minutes. That's how long the film. It's got credits and everything. It's not finished yet, so there's still some narration. It was all made on my iPad. And what we're going to do today is play the main track, the video clip of the center of the film where everything goes tits up. And they turn on Google and Facebook and all the AI companies turn on the switch to let the robots free, and it all goes tits up while humans sit there with their little helmets on playing VR World, shitting into a bucket, ordering Uber Eats, and the world goes to absolutely shit, and they all just die out of existence as the robots take over, and all that's left are the robots and the animals take over the world. So that's kind of the preface of my movie. So we're going to play the track where all that happens, just to go out. It's 11 minutes. That's how long the song goes, 11. A lot of messaging in this stuff. So let's play that. Thank you for hanging out today, and I hope you enjoy this clip. You may or may not have seen this before, but if you haven't seen it, it's going to be new to you. If you've seen it before, you're going to be like boring and you can fuck off and whatever. We'll be back tomorrow to take a look at Play Beat 4. Play Beat 4, what am I saying? And next up is Pete Johns with Your Music Live. So this is the song Technology Killed the Reality Star from the movie. The answer is 42. Let's Oja.
primary control of critical functions. Computers now have control. Computers now have control. Computers now have primary control of critical functions. 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 Computers now have primary control of critical